Hello and welcome to Solid Dan Gaming. This is episode 3 of our Let's Play Ostriv Alpha 3 series. Welcome back to those that have been following along, and welcome to anybody who's joining now. The videos are on the channel if you wanted to get back and watch them if you hadn't already. But we're just going to get straight back into this. So just a quick recap here. We basically left off the fishing dock wasn't quite finished, but I have done some work in the background and now that's finished, so that's cool. Obviously the boatyard was finished in the end of the last episode, and we had a farm. So now if you look over here, this is don't freak out. This is purely just an aesthetic. I've built a second farm. It's inactive at the moment because I can't change hands until the end of the season, but basically all I've done is put another building there on the roadway so that the fences can line up and it doesn't have to have that weird kick. It's just going to make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing in the future once we've got a few more buildings and things around here. So that's cool. You'll also notice I've put the cursor back on. I did take it off in the last episode, but I found that when I'm trying to talk about things and indicate, it's quite actually. When I was editing that video, I realised that actually I was talking about things that you probably wouldn't have been looking at on the screen, so it's a good way of highlighting. But if you can just excuse, sometimes I'll be just flicking it around the screen, just pointing at things, and let me get away with that and we'll be alright. But yeah, so I've turned that back on and we shall get back into it. So I think in this episode we're probably going to aim at, considering the farming is kind of under control, they are now, that's fallow, that field, this has been sown and it's halfway through growing, as is that kind of just under half, and this one's probably a bit less than that. Yeah, it's harvested later, so that's the hemp, so it's not too bad. I'm glad I put the hemp at that end, because by the time they sow these, you know, that one's going to probably suffer a little bit of yield loss due to the time at which it gets sown. But that's fine. Look, it's, you know, we're only getting, out of 6 years, we're only going to get 2 lots of hemp from that, and that's purely just to keep the rotation going, so we're not harvesting more than 3 fields. I could increase it, but we'll just see how it goes. We're not using hemp just yet. We kind of want to make textiles eventually, just to sell clothes to our people, but for now we don't need to. As you can see, those white indicated lines have disappeared when you load back up. Like I said, it's just a development thing that they obviously keep there for now. I guess they'll fix that, but that's not for us to worry about. I'll just close this. I don't really use that. I don't use it too much, and it sort of just gives you a bit more of a better screen view, so I'll keep that closed. And so we're still sort of running a bit of an inefficiency, because I've got my forestry guys. I've employed 2 more from there into there so that we can get this work that I've tasked them to do out of the way, and basically that is to remove the trees around this pathway in the mayor's house, just to present that a little bit better. Otherwise you sort of get further down the line and it gets a bit more I could forget and things like that. So I've just basically asked them to thin these trees out through here. I haven't done anything on this side, so I don't think I need to just yet, but there was certainly some on the path that needed to go. So they're doing that. There's 4 of them doing that, so that should speed that up. Yeah, so I think we'll try to build our population a little bit in this episode. So we're sitting at 30, that's good, but we can increase that so we can get some more housing in. We'll get the fishing underway, which I'll probably do first up, just so we've got some different food types coming in. They've got potatoes and flour and fish at the moment, so they should be okay. Oh, they've got milk. Quite a lot of milk, actually, they start with. See, what I found is they kind of get used to the food types that they're eating most regularly, and then when you take that away, that's when they start complaining that that there's not enough food variety. So, and one thing I know that they can't live without is the salo. So, salo, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but yeah, they don't like living without that. So we will be getting a pig farm going at some point. but probably not this episode. I need to grow wheat and things. I need to get a good crop yield from that just to feed the animals. Blacksmith's pretty happy. He needs to sort of speed up the nail production, so I've added another worker in there and the metal parts. The carpenter had finished fixing up all of our carts, so I sort of made that job redundant for now. But I'll probably employ a boatyard worker. We've got labourers filling that up at the moment with wood, but I'm going to employ one of those and go to the fishing dock and add 3 boats to the list there. We'll get this started, get this ticking over, and then yeah, someone's taking the job straight away, so that is beautiful. So here we'll start building a boat, and once we've got the boats I'll employ some fishermen and we will get a different source of food. So hopefully these guys are going to be done. I mean, I think there were, from memory, maybe about 6 trees to take out along here. But it's making a huge difference already. You can see from when we first put that in. It sort of looked like a house in the woods, but you know, now it's going to start to come together. I haven't done anything else. Don't believe. No, all I did was sort of fix this fence up outside the mayor's house here because it was just the wrong type. So yeah, look. So once we get the fishing underway, we'll put some houses in. I was sort of tempted because they're kind of walking a bit of a distance, but I figured that they're going to be doing that anyway because there's going to be houses over here and there's no industry over here. So these people are going to have to travel in and around. I mean, I could technically, and I may well do it, like I said about putting houses in here. I could build on this side now, and then that would enclose the industry, and then we'll just spread out that way and this way as and when, which might work better because I've got a road here that I can start building off. I'll put a branch from there because that road essentially links up with that, and it would branch off to here somewhere, so I could build some houses here. In fact, I might just start that right now because I don't want them to have to walk too far. It does add to, it reduces the the efficiency of their work when they're there. Well, I would imagine it does. I don't know. I haven't actually watched somebody walk and see if the distance changes the time of the break, if they have a longer time away from work, or if the break gets shorter because they have to walk. I'll have to do a bit of research on that in the background and get back to you. Yep, so we'll get some housing in, and then I think we're going to need to probably throw in maybe a couple of warehouses. I definitely want a warehouse over in the tradesman district just to keep some stock there, but at the moment we're fine because that's where everything's being produced that we need. But yeah, we'll get one over there eventually, and one over at the farm so that the produce can go into that, and then we'll get the once the trading post goes in here, we'll have the granaries set around that, and that can store the food that we produce or we manufacture into. So basically I'm going to try to keep the potatoes and wheat, the wheat certainly for animals, and the potatoes will be for food. Some wheat, I was going to say some wheat will be turned to flour, but I don't know about that because I like to grow it for the animals. It's hard to regulate how much the windmills produce, so they just tend to produce and produce and produce until they can't really produce anymore. I guess I could control that maybe with a warehouse that they put it into. I'll just reduce the number of, and they can only take from one. I'll work on that, but we may grow flour. We may turn wheat into flour. But go back to what I was saying. Potatoes are going to be purely for eating, food type, and then buckwheat will be selling to our people because you don't need to process that. You can sell that directly to them. Sunflowers we will be turning into sunflower oil. So we've got sunflowers growing here, so we'll get an oil production going on and produce some sunflower oil because that sells for quite a nice price at the trading post. And then the hemp, like I said, will produce some textiles later on. So we're pretty good there to just crack on and get back into it. yeah, we'll leave the trading post at the end of the episode because I don't think they're going to start complaining just yet. I mean, they might say they haven't got enough variety soon, but that's something we can live with. They're not going to move out, put it that way. As long as there's jobs and there's food of some sort coming in, then we will be okay. Alright, glad I stopped to check that because the boats have now been finished and we can employ fishermen. I'm going to put 2 on. I wonder how many guys we've got. So there's two empty vacancies. Nobody in a carpentry. Forestry workers. So they were the forestry workers. Now are they almost finished up top here? Not really. Okay, so I do need to get more people in, but that's alright. We'll just keep it as it is. So as long as we've got somebody fishing, we're bringing in fish. I'm going to tell him that we don't need dry fish just yet. We don't have any salt, and it kind of so I don't really want to be buying things in just yet. Thatchers, you're sort of redundant down there for a while. We're going to need thatch, actually. You can't produce any more, so you've got 2,000 thatch and 2,000 reed. But 2,000 is plenty of houses, so let's get some put in around here. Okay, let's just rotate that in. Which side are we on there? Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, you just have to bear with me because I've changed my key binding slightly to suit my style, and it still getting used to it. So that's cool. I think we'll put a house there. Should have held shift there really. We'll rotate that one and we'll put that opposite. Yeah, that looks good to me. And then maybe we'll sort of branch around that way. So we'll turn the next one. Let's go to lock on there, but if we sort of do that, it will give us a bit of an avenue. And then we can loop back around if we need to. Yeah, that should work. So I know this wasn't in our initial plan, but it just helps to keep a bit of a close, a certain amount of the population close to where they're actually working to build our population to start with. Yes, I could build more in here immediately, but I don't want this to become too congested until I get my town centre sort of built. Look, I think that's probably 4 houses to start with is probably going to be enough. So there's another 8 people. I don't want to overdo it purely because then you've just got more mouths to feed, and quite frankly, we are not producing any food at the moment. We are, but not enough. That's sunflowers being processed there. The potatoes have been... where are they storing those potatoes? Just there. Okay, so we've got potatoes. That's cool. They've got no way of buying them, so we won't be able to get anybody moved in yet. So here is something else I like to do. I'm going to get rid of that. And we'll just build this so that I can keep this in line. Doesn't make much sense, I know, but if you see what I'm about to do, it will all make sense. There you go. Yep, we'll just do that. So what I like to do is put in a little, sort of every few blocks of houses. This is quite a big block from what I normally do. I sort of tend to stick to 4 and then a road, split it up, but because this is sort of a main street, I might keep it like that and just have a little laneways going through. But generally what I then put in is market stalls in these laneways. But, and I think that's probably a good spot to put it actually, next to the well. Yeah, if we put them we're only going to have one to start with because we don't have enough produce for any more. But we could maybe, actually, if I go this way... No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to back, so I'm going to have one here. Maybe, yeah, probably one here. Let's remember to hold shift. And one there. And when the time comes, I will add a third and fourth one there. So that we've got another little laneway there, and then we'll start the houses again. So we'll employ somebody there, so let's get rid of that fence. And build that back in. Which fence was that? That was the... this is the Picket Federation. So we go like this. It isn't going to let me do it there. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I'm rambling to myself, guys. I'm sorry about that, but I just want to make sure that I get this right. So we'll go across the back here and a little bit more. Oh, so close. What I'm going to do is put this in just as an indicator. There we go. That gives me an indication as to where that is. There we go. Put it there. Yeah, and that would be perfect. There we go, and then we can continue this laneway up that way afterwards. And just drag that down. That's interesting. So I can completely encase that well because they're accessing it from that side anyhow. So if I delete that and bring that fence through, just check that's nice and straight. Yep. And winter is here. I felt like I was working on this well at the same time last year. In fact, I was. This exact same spot when the snow started falling last time. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so they are complaining they've got no food variety, but once I open this market store and start selling potatoes, that should keep them happy. Potatoes and... what else did we produce there? Nothing they can eat, I don't think. No, sunflowers and hemp. Could probably turn some of that into oil. But I think potatoes are going to be fine for now. Let's have a look, see. Fish. I need to be selling fish, don't I? Because they're going to hopefully have caught some fish. Yeah, we've got 260. He's, I think, actually taking it straight up there. Look. No, going home. Alright. Winter is here, so I can reduce those fishing jobs and maybe put them in a carpentry. No, I don't need to. Let's get them on here. Well, there's nobody in there anyway, so 1, hopefully 2 will get filled. Come on. And all these farm jobs are going to become available too because there's nothing to do over there. 2 workers that probably... Oh, they still... So, this is what I was saying about the prioritised gathering. They didn't gather it because I didn't click it, and that's how I like it, because what will happen is, if we don't harvest it in time, we lose it. I think we lose it. We lose what wasn't finished harvesting. Whereas if we don't have this ticked, they'll just pick it all and get it all harvested, and then leave these buckets to collect afterwards. So that actually gives them something to do in the winter months, or at least the first month of winter. That's generally going to be finished in that time. Okay, so we've got the houses are out of nails. That was a little while ago they ran out of nails. So what's nobody's producing. Oh, I don't think I have any builders, do I? I do. Supplying resources. Okay. All resources are collected. Okay, so they should start getting built now. We've got a market, so just check on this. No housing available. That's about to change. Everything else is green, so we are happy to introduce another couple, another family into the town. Once I get the town hall built, which may be a good time to do it. Yeah, I think it's a good time to do it because I kind of want to introduce seasonal seasonal workers. So in the winter you obviously can't do any fishing or work on the boat, so we'll reduce those jobs and they'll go and they do that. Everything's automatic, I don't have to worry about it basically. Just wondering if I can now switch this over to link it to another farm. Click on a farm or a cowshed to assign. Here we go. Did it? Everything stayed the same? Yes, it did. Perfect. So now I just do this. No manager to handle crop rotation. That's fine, because I don't need you to at the moment. Oh, it's good that it tells me that rather than just stopping everything and making me reassign everything. It actually tells me that there isn't a manager assigned. 1, 2. Oh, I've missed a field. How did I do that? Okay, so I need to. I can't delete that yet because I'm holding a lot of stock in there, but I can set it to make empty once we get a granary. But I will make this redundant, hopefully, and those two also. Open this job up, and those two, and push play. Yes, jump straight into the same job. Perfect. Oh, I think it was her. Not sure. Anyway. Cool, so we've successfully transferred the work over to the other farmhouse. This can now be emptied and we'll might keep it there until that gets emptied naturally and we use this for oil and put this in a warehouse, which actually I might just do now, thinking about it. I'm sort of thinking as I go with this because there's only so much I can plan out without it taking me 20 years to record episodes. So here we go. I just wanted to put that in behind. Do I put it there? Yeah, let's put it on the roadway and make it a bit more accessible for people. And we'll get rid of that fence. Perfect. The stairs are actually on that. The stairs were on the roadway there. Didn't like that. Okay, that's better. Now the fence can stop and start each side of that. That's cool. Right. We'll just bump that up in the production queue and see how we're getting on everywhere else. So we've got 2 builders, they'll jump on that. It's end of January. Forestry is looking good. We've got a lot of firewood, which is perfect. Everyone's burning and everyone's happy. Wood is good. Nails, you should be on top of things. Yep. Charcoal. We may need a little bit of iron left. Might need to buy some iron soon, but that's cool. I can activate. So this 2 of these are actually working pretty well. They'll have this one emptied and then they can start loading that one. I think I might just stick with 2, but I'll wait till this one gets emptied and reactivate that. Okay. Boatyard doesn't need to do anything just yet. Town hall. Okay, so just so that I've got an idea of. This is the trading post, I know, but I just want to see. Make sure you're going that way around. We'll go there. going to go over here. And I'm going to put it much like I did with the mayor's house, and that was kind of just in a rush. I kind of wanted that winding road a little bit though, so but the town hall I want to have on a bit of a wacky angle, because why not? Doesn't need to make sense, does it? And I'll do the same, put a little winding road so the mayor just comes out of his house and straight into it. But it doesn't really... No, I think that's good. I think that'll work. We'll just plop that there. They can't get access to it at the moment, but they can now. We'll get that built in front of the houses also. That way I can get control of the economy before we start to have too high a population with... Have they moved in already? I think, yeah, they have, yeah. Wow! Oh, you're kidding me. There's me talking about not much strain on the granary. Oh, we've just had a family of, what's that, 3, 5, 7 move into this one house. 3 people sort of in the late, well, averaging 80 years old. Oh, huge family. Okay, so both his parents and her dad, her father. Right, cool. Well, good luck to you. They don't have much money between them. Well, they got a bit of food, so they might be okay. Alright, well, welcome. Welcome. We've got to worry about getting you fed now, because these are quite small families. I think this is like generally just parents with 1 or 2 kids. These guys rock up with 7 of them. Awesome. Alright, cool. Let's just push play and see what happens. Sorry, that tickled me a little bit. That was quite amusing to see such a large family just moving into an up and coming town. Alright, they're sowing the wheat in there now. This will be fallow. There'll be some buckwheat. Cool. It's all looking good. Sunflowers, and so yeah, sunflowers every year. That's good. Cool, 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 cool. Town hall's down. What are we waiting for here? Yeah, see, the long distances doesn't help when you're building, because it'll slow things down. But now we've got... Well, actually, I'm complaining about the amount of people that come here, but we just gained another 4 men. He's of age to work, so... Oh, I think he was. Yes. So they should all be in jobs. What did you do? Yeah, construction. Cool. I like that you can do this too. Click on them and it tells you where they work. He's jumped into forestry. Oh, that's handy. Look at that. Nice and close. I wonder if that's how the game engine works. That it puts them in jobs close to home. Yeah, construction. So he's working here. She's unemployed. That's fine. He's 84 years old. So 89 years old and you're in construction. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Still being able to do that when you're 89 years old. Cool. Okay, so that's the second house is now built. Everything is good with that. They're happy. Oh, we will put you a well in. Thanks for reminding me about that. New family is settling in. So there's obviously a bit of appeal. A bit of an appeal to the town. People are moving in. Finances are semi-stable, I guess. That road branches off there, so we'll put the well beside your house, I think. This family's going to need it, aren't they? Let's face it. Where's the... Yeah, it's on that side. Cool. Okay, put a little break in the fence, if I can click it. Yeah. Cool. And I think eventually I'll put a set of market stalls here or somewhere in the middle of this block too, just to give them a bit of close access to food. I am aware that this is the wrong type of fence I've got around here, but we can fix that. That's not a problem. I don't need to worry about this yet. I was about to fence that up, but it's no need. So you can see that by putting the fences in, it guides, kind of semi-guides. Somebody walks straight across the middle of the screen as I'm saying that, but look, kind of guides them in a path that you want them to go, and it creates the paths that for you. Ah, that's good. Looks like they've finished up the top there, and they're now working close to home, so their wood production should get a big boost. Looking up here, let's have a look. It's a bit strange. It looks like they've thinned out the wrong trees. I didn't clear this. What's happened there, guys? That's a bit strange. I'm pretty sure it was like... Well, anyway, it's clear. Yep, maybe that was there already. I'll have to look. I'll check. But cool. Town hall is being built. We are just requiring some wood and clay, and that's being brought up as we speak. So cool. How's the market going? Selling fish was sold 205. Is that 205 sold? Yeah, I think so. Oh, I didn't put anybody in the fishing docks, and they're now in April. That's gonna... Okay, that's why I need the town hall built. Alright, look. We're kind of all on top of things now. I think that's a good place to end that episode. Yeah, we've got on top of things. We've got a bit more housing coming in. The town hall is up, is being built. The farm's being switched over. We've got some markets in here to feed these people and attract more citizens in. We've cleared up the mayor's front yard a little bit, so he's got a bit of access there. That's just a minor job, but it needed doing, so we'll just get it done while we've got the staff. And yeah, I think we're all looking good, guys, so I'll call that the end of the episode. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe for more content, and then tune in again for episode 4. Thanks, guys. See you again soon.